Welcome to another episode here at my YouTube channel. My name is Tom with the call sign Lima Bravo 6 Quebec Juliet. A while ago, I ordered some parts from one of the stores here in Norway, where I ordered a battery for my beloved Anytone radio, which is this one, and I ordered a new Diamond X50 antenna for my VHF in the future, and another radio also included in that order. That is a nowadays very known, very famous radio, a Quansheng UV-K5, 8 in parentheses around the 8 basically. And this is a radio that has blown me, well, at least twice today, and a lot of people also in Norway, maybe in the rest of the world in itself too. But maybe this should actually be a new category of radios, and more on that a little bit later. But the beauty about this radio is that you can modify the software, and you can also add different type of hardware, so you can have different function. Um, in some stages during development, it was decided that the chip inside of this radio would have not only read but also write, which means that you can load new software directly onto this radio. This is actually quite beautiful because that means that there are people out there that is making firmware to place on this radio, and it can literally be anything. I've seen firmware out there that where you can play Pong, which is I would say the first computer game out there. And that is it's a little bit cool. And there's uh, I would say a dozen different type of firmware, and one of them that I am looking a lot on is a firmware called Joaquin org. I really don't know how to pronounce that, but anyway, um, he has a web page on GitHub. Um, just just Google it and you will find it. But he has a fork out of the original um, firmware project that was modified called Engzoomer or something that in that line. I don't remember the full name. Starts with E something. Um, so that is a fork out of that project, this one, and you can download it. And the one thing that I found a huge interest of is um, you can, you can uh, add a app called Messenger. That's what they call it, messengers or messenger. Um, this program you can send like text message over VHF on a predefined frequency to other radio that has the same firmware and are on the same frequency. You can kind of like chatting in between. That is pretty cool. So if you are like an old schooler phone guy that remembers all of the buttons per number, that's how you write messages. So ABC on button 1 and DEF on button 2 or something like that. I don't quite fully remember. I had to relearn the buttons. Oh yeah, it says here on the Anytone radio, that's the keyboard. But I'm very surprised by this radio. What you also can do is that you can uh, inspect the firmware and make your own changes to it. And I tried to, but I severely failed. Uh, the one thing you can do is to enable different um, function. So I tried to, in this firmware, to enable FM, like just regular listening to radio, but every time I was compiling the source code, I always got an error somewhere, and I don't know where. And when I was looking on the error codes and where it was located, it was a different type of error every single time. So it is something in here that bungs up something, and I don't know what it is. So for now, this radio does not have FM enabled. But that's a thing, a function that should be there from the beginning, basically. Um, oh well, it's not the end of the world, but it would be nice with radio. I do sometimes listen on analog radio, but so I tried to compile it, didn't work, but it is an experimental radio. I don't care. Maybe I will get another one, but more on that later. So I was not able to do it, but that is okay. Uh, some people are using a page called UV mod, where you just add different function and you can flash the firmware to your phone directly through Google Chrome web browser. You don't need a separate software and stuff like that. There's another mod that's also interesting me a bit, and that is a hardware mod that you can um, unlock the HF beauty, and in a sense, but this is a hardware chip that you install physically to the radio by soldering, and you remove a capacitor. No, you removing two capacitors, you adding another one, and you're removing a chip, and you install this chip, this daughter board in that sense, and you kind of know, you need to know what you're doing. So 0M0ET made a video, so there you see it, there it is. So he made a video on how you do it from start to finish, and it does look reasonably okay. And with that chip, you're adding HF support, but you also have to reflash um, the phone so you can get into the program that is on this chip, so you can unlock full HF. And as far as I understand, you can do like full QRP HF, but of course, you need an antenna in order to do that. So this is a very interesting mod that I do plan to get. Maybe I should just get a different radio for that has these HF mod. There is apparently a web page called UV-K5 mods and hacks. You should definitely take a good look on that, and I will for sure be on that page. There is a software that is, I would say, a little bit modified. It's called Chirp Engzoomer. Engzoomer, that's the original mod that this mod forked from. That is that's where it started, kind of in a sense. Um, in order for you to install everything, you need a image, and you read that from your radio first, and then you adding all the function that you want, and then you just upload it back into the radio. Just don't start on a new one and then upload it into the radio. Doesn't work that way. So yeah, I installed a few repeaters, 9 of them in total, and I think it is very interesting. The name does not show up in the radio for some odd reason. You kind of have to go through the menu, and you have to look on saved names, and then you just count down the memory slots into the radio. It says M1 here, and that is slot 1 for a repeater in there. Um, is it worth taking a good look on this radio? Yeah, definitely is. I kind of wish that manufacturers were creating a new type of category of radio that you could call development radio, where the different manufacturers are um, making a radio without the software, and it is up to the radio amateur community to come up with some very good ideas for software that you could place on their radio. It would be very nice instead of having every single radio out there um, locked down with various types of restriction on. So restriction is not a good thing. So I encourage all of the manufacturers out there to create a radio that you release, like a general purpose license radio, um, um, on an open source license, and then people can develop on it. I think that's a very good idea, and I would like to see more radios like this in the future. Is this radio particularly good broadcasting out on frequencies that it's not originally meant for? No. There are tests out there that indicates that there is high harmonics, and spurious transmission is very high as far as I understand from. I haven't been through all of the data, but it is some indication out there that people have tested on. So I say again, just don't broadcast outside of the frequency band that this radio was made for. And of course, you have to do it on your own risk. I'm taking no responsibility of doing that. But take a good look at it. I paid a little over $40 from a company store here in Norway. Um, One of my favorite one actually, and it was definitely well worth the money. I had a lot of fun here today, and I will continue having a lot of fun in the future for this radio. I'm not going to talk too much here, so I certainly hope you liked the episode. If you liked the episode, just a thumbs up, or if you didn't, just thumbs down. And also subscribe, it will definitely help me in the future. And with that, I am signing off. Hope you liked the episode. Bye bye.